This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome to Profit at Night, your 60 minutes of action-packed news from the markets, and believe me, it's action all. Profit at Night, it looks like as the equity markets keep on doing well, mutual funds also prosper. For a man who is known as an old India hand, AJAY SRINIVASAN, the man who used to head Prudential ICICI here, is now heading the entire Prudential world in the Asian markets. His view for India, now that Prudential is not the topmost mutual fund in the country, is that the share will grow as the pie continues to grow, and that will only happen as equity markets continue to do well.
No longer the top mutual fund in the country, but Prudential's top man is not worried. AJAY SRINIVASAN, who manages Prudential funds for Asia, says as equity markets keep on doing well, the pie will keep growing, big enough for everyone.
Our strategy is changing so much in the face of the new entrants as against, I think, the bigger trend that I see in India. And I think that trend is much more around the way wealth is growing and is owned. I think you can see today a much larger number of people earning amounts that make it worthwhile in looking to invest that money. So you're talking about an addressable population that is today much larger than I think it's ever been in the past. And the second thing I think that's happening with that wealthy population is it's spread across many more towns than used to be before. So I think if there's one thing that's I think new and developing and something that we need to develop a response to, it's how do you tackle this increase in wealth and the fact that penetration is still fairly low amongst that population, and the fact that the amount of the number of people who own mutual funds across and the geographies in which they own is fairly low.
While the UK-based major manages $50 billion under management in Asia and various types of financial services, Prudential has also recently launched a fund in China, which marks its entry into the country. And while comparing India and China, Srinivasan is clear it takes more than just the GDP factor to make the country click.
GDP growth doesn't necessarily translate into attractive stock market valuations or attractive stock market opportunities. And I think what you've seen in China is attractive GDP growth, a lot of it driven by government spending. And therefore, when you look at the corporate sector, you've seen earnings mixed, and you've seen return on equity not very attractive. Whereas I think in India, it's traditionally been the other way around.
But where will the future growth come from? And like every foreign player, Prudential too wants further reforms which can allow pension and insurance money to be invested in equities in India. AJAY SRINIVASAN has spent enough time in India and now in Asia to know that equity markets are the best performing asset class in the world. But in India, like in other emerging markets, steps are now needed to allow the markets to grow so that investors can continue to place their bets on the equity markets. In Mumbai, I'm Manisha Mehta for NDTV.
Going to take a short break on the show and come back with lots more.
When we come back, we look at the weather report and also what's in schedule on business.